6:05 p.m. Rise for the invocation by Rick Jordan.
Shall we pray? Our Father and our God, we are so thankful for the privilege we have of gathering in a meeting such as this and living in a country where we're free to do so. Lord, we thank you first of all for the gift of life that you've given to each one of us. Lord, we pray that you'd lead and guide in this meeting, help it to be profitable to our community as a whole and to our citizens in particular. Help us, dear Lord, to do those things be pleasing in thy sight. We pray that you bless our lives to your service and forgive us where we failed you and sinned against you. For we ask it in Jesus' name for his sake. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Roll call.
Brandon Thomas,
Here.
Rick Jordan,
Here.
Tom Brennenberg,
Here.
Amanda Willows.
Here.
Let the record show all present. Also present, Mayor Bart Jeton, City Attorney David Hamilton, and Interim City Secretary Tricia Smith taping the minutes.
Mr. Mayor, there's nobody signed in on the citizen forum.
Okay, we'll move to item 7, consent item, discuss take action on A, monthly bills and purchase orders for March 2017. B, minutes for March 2017 city council meetings. C, financial update for March 2017. D, monthly activity reports for March 2017 from 1, Police Department, 2, Public Works Department, and 3, Reno Volunteer Fire Department.
Mayor, move to go ahead and approve items 7, A through D, 1, 2, and 3.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Willows to approve items 7, A through D, and 1 through 3. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Move on down to item number 8A. Appoint city representative to Reno Volunteer Fire Department Board.
This isn't for the board, actually. The fire department's for the pension. We have to have a member from the council to be on that way, you're aware of what's going on, and that's basically y'all's representative along the way to make sure everything's on the up and up, basically, just for some transparency. And that's required by the state, so it's just one of those things. Currently, Mr. Brandberg's handling it. I think we've had 2 meetings, and so it's not a common thing to have a meeting. We have to have one a quarter, and so it's not a real big need. I think Charles talked to Tricia some about it, and so whoever y'all pleasure is, it's fine with us.
You did make that comment. It doesn't have to be a city council representative.
Correct. Correct. In Paris, which is a little bit different of an organization that our retirement's under, it's actually the finance director. So it was actually a city employee. So whoever, but that's what that's about right there.
but we don't have anyone right now.
Correct, Mr. Brandenburg is on right now.
Tom is?
I think-
Okay.
I don't know until, I guess the term expires in May. so.
And what it was is when we first started this last year, we staggered the places, that way
Yeah.
not everybody's coming off at the same time. So that's what's going on.
I thought we did.
Yeah. Yeah, when we set it up, we didn't want everybody going off at the same time.
Yeah.
And so, the good part about this board is it's not like we're dealing with money directly as far as trying to decide where to put money, anything like that. It's just making sure that people that once they meet the retirement, which we're still 4 years before the first person to retire, that everybody's meeting the requirements. So it's not like we're handling money or anything like that. It's pretty simple. So it's very well as, I forget, do you know when yours? I'm not sure the exact date. Did Charles tell you the exact date that it goes out, or has it already?
No, he didn't. He just basically said that we need to appoint a city representative to the Reno Volunteer Fire Department Board, and it does not need to be an elected official. He said it could be a citizen of Reno, it could be an employee, it could be a council member if they wanted that. Up to you guys.
Y'all meet quarterly?
Yeah, once, it usually takes about 30, 45 minutes. And these first few have been a little bit longer just because we're just now getting going.
Well, I'll do it. It's no big deal.
It's real easy. It's not,
Short, sweet.
we usually meet on, I think at noon. So,
There's no problem. You said it doesn't need to be an elected representative?
it doesn't have to be. Basically what it is,
Can be.
it's y'all's representative. So it's not somebody we vote on, it's who y'all representing the group in its entirety.
I make a motion that we appoint Brandon Thomas.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Willow, second by Councilmember Brandenburg to appoint Brandon Thomas to the representative to the Reno Volunteer Fire Department Board. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Hey, Chief.
8B, resolution to adopt the Lamar County Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the package, you'll see a copy of the resolution drafted by one and only David Hamilton. Hold your applause. Hold your applause. Along with some information I gave you from Texas Department of Emergency Management website that has this program. It's the hazard mitigation plan is a county emergency preparedness plan that the cities within that county can adopt. Once those cities adopt that plan, there's grant funding available for different things when it comes to mitigation of what the state deems as hazards within the state. One thing that comes to mind, it's been on our mind the last couple of years, has been flooding. I think the county's looking at the hazard mitigation grant program for drainage issues. This might be a way for us to fix some of our drainage issues. If we pass this resolution and adopt the county's plan. But I didn't give you a copy of the county's plan because it's huge. It's like 60 or 70 pages. And it took them probably 7-8 years to get it finished. Quincy Blunt, the current county emergency management coordinator, is the third county emergency management coordinator that's worked on it. He actually finished it, if that tells you anything. And a lot of the language that's in it is stuff that the state says has to be in there, and it's other stuff that the FEMA says it has to be in there. So I didn't bore you with it. It is what it is. We all kind of worked on it together. 90% of what we did got changed by powers that be higher than us. So it kind of is what it is. But the resolution, passing this resolution and adopting their plan would put us in position for another grant program that I think would be beneficial to the city. I think
Through FEMA?
it's through FEMA. And it's a ton of red tape, just to let you know. Just a ton. And it's probably one of those grants that I would probably strongly recommend you hire a grant manager for. I've never looked at the grant. If it's involved in anything as much as getting the plan together was, it's extensive work that would have to be done for that grant program. So that's what I would do. But the first step, obviously, is getting the resolution passed. And this is pretty much a stock resolution, what they gave us, David.
Correct.
And FEMA gives you the sample resolution to pass. This is all recommended by the state and fed.
Sure, any application fees, or is it just free to do this?
I think it's just apply if you dare and see what happens.
Best of luck to you.
Yeah,
We'll bill you later.
Yeah.
more or less. Well, they'll bill you with work. So that, yeah, it's probably not an easy grant program to apply for at all, but if it'll help us out with drainage issues, I think it might be worth it. Of course, there's some other programs you can get involved with. I think some cities do tornado shelters with them, some different things. But they're out there. It's money that we haven't tapped yet, and I think it's something we should look at. We just got to put ourselves in place so we can look at it.
I'd like to know what cost-effective mitigation measures are.
The people that drafted this sample resolution probably don't even know either.
And, I mean, that, kind of like what they'll, I guess, pay for.
Right.
Commit to the 25% cost sharing requirement.
Of course, the
Probably
resolution,
bargain.
of course, the resolution doesn't mean you're going to apply for grant funds. It just makes you eligible to apply for grant funds. So that's something you can talk about later. And there's some advantages just adopting the plan by itself. So.
Mayor, I move that we adopt we approve the resolution to adopt the Lamar County Hazard Mitigation Plan as presented by Chief Birch.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Jordan, seconded by Councilmember Willows to approve the resolution for the Lamar County Hazard Mitigation Plan. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 8C, Police Department purchase of new radar units.
I'll just read this. In that packet I gave you for the radar units that has the estimate quote, whatever you want to call it, on there, there is a lease to own option for that. I thought the interest rate through Stalker was a little high. Doing my rough math with the, excuse me, I'm trying to find that. Total purchase price for 3 radar units, $6,965.50. And on this, if you see toward right under that, you see lease to own option, $48.92.48 a year for 3 years. You multiply that by 3 years, that's like $8,000. And that equals to about 20-something% interest, which I think is a little steep. This is something I did not budget because I did not know our radars were as bad shape as they were in. So what I did, I got a hold of Reggie this morning, McDowell at Lamar National, and see if what he could do with a small note of $7,000 or less. And that email I gave you got that on there. Interest rate's 4%. He said it went up above the 3.75. But if you did a 2-year note through Lamar National, the annual payment would be $3,693.08, which is just a little more than the 3-year note payment your stalker would be. If you did a 3-year note payment, it'd be $25.10 and a penny. And this would give us 3 units. The units to buy them outright are about $2,200, $2,300 a piece.
Now, the 2 new Tahoes, they not come with radar?
No, because we had to cut them.
We moved them over, didn't we?
Right. And radar units last quite a while.
My next question, about how long, what's the life of radar?
They last quite a while. They're built pretty rugged, so they'll take the heat sitting on the dash and all that kind of stuff. So they're pretty resilient. It's just after a while, the electronics go bad. And the ones I got 2 of them right now that the officers have told me I don't trust the radar enough to write a speeding ticket.
Well, what they doing?
You get some what we call ghost readings. You'll be sitting stationary running radar, and it will show your speed at 10 miles an hour, and you're parked. Stuff like that. So then there's the question: okay, you adding 10 miles an hour to it, or it's just not acting right? And I don't think they're worth shipping them off somewhere to get them worked on. They're pretty old. 2 of them are real old. There's one that's not quite so old, but it's still pretty old. You work with them here. Those Golden Eagles.
Yeah.
Been around a while. It's time for some new ones. Stalker's a good radar. DPS uses it. Paris uses it. Stalker's been around a long time. They're a good product. I don't see
you don't
why
have
we
any handheld ones, do you?
got one old one that still works pretty good.
Does it really?
It's old school. It is, but it works great.
It's like pointing a 5-gallon bucket at somebody.
It's not that bad. It's a big metal thing, and you point it. You can't use it when you're going down the road.
Right.
You got to sit stationary with it. But yeah, no, it
Wow.
works.
I've been out 7 years, so it's pretty old.
It's pretty old.
Old is where it still had a meter on it.
Yeah.
That's an old
Yeah.
one.
Or the ones with the radar unit looks like an actual,
Yeah,
looks like a
yeah.
big Pringles can. sitting
Huge.
there.
Megaphone.
Yeah. But anyway, this is something mid-budget year I didn't budget for, because like I said, I didn't know how bad they really were. And the last 2-3 months, guys have been telling me, hey, these things need to go. So I'm trying to do this within the budget. I budgeted $7,000 in equipment this year. Between that, what I haven't spent, and what we got on the auction, that's supposed to go back towards the equipment.
That's what I was going to ask. If you got-
That's an option. I know we talked about using that. How much exactly did we get? $6,800, something like that.
68.
We got enough out of the auction to buy the radar units outright. And I know we talked about using that money towards an ATV. The radar units is something it's gotten to be an issue. It's gotten to be really more of a priority than the ATV. If it's your pleasure to use that auction money, if you want going back toward the police equipment to pay for the radar units, that's fine. I'd go back to the drawing board about funding an ATV later. But I need to do something pretty soon with radar.
If you just bought them, it's about $67.50. Just paid for 3 of them.
Yeah.
Stalker.
Yeah, the total,
But if we, on a 2-year note, is about 7,400, something like that. So you're looking at about $700 interest over 2 years. You can still get your,
yeah, the bottom outright is $6,965.50, and that's shipping.
of course,
That's some mounting brackets, that's
mounting bracket.
the whole kit and caboodle, right?
Now, you have to pay to have it installed?
I'll probably have to pay somebody to install it. and they're not hard to install. What I'm gonna do with these radar units is, there's an adapter cable I can buy from Stalker. Excuse me, it's gonna be included in this price from Stalker. I gotta buy an adapter for our DVRs, for our dash cam DVRs. Amanda's gonna know what I'm talking about. But I'm gonna connect our radar units to our dash cam. That way the video, patrol video will see the target speed. So we go to court, somebody wants to contest a speeding ticket, it'll be on video, it'll be on video, so we don't have to have. Doing that's gonna be about $800, but I can fund that okay. I'm just trying to buy the radar units right now.
Have we bought any radar units since you've been here? Since 2011, anyway.
I don't think we bought it since she left. So like she said she's been gone for 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, I've been here 5.
I don't
We haven't bought
remember
any since I've been here.
since
They're
2008.
old.
I-
One thing I have done, they have remote controls in them. I replaced those because they were just beat up, terrible, buttons were missing and stuff, so I replaced those. But as far as the units themselves, I haven't replaced any of them at all. And this will replace, this will give us new units. I bought one for, I stand corrected, the 2015 has a newer radar in it, branded.
Which one?
The 2015 Tahoe has a newer radar in it. Because
So in other words,
because that was an extra car we bought.
the one for the
At the
Crown
time.
Vic,
Right,
the old Tahoe and the new one.
right. They have new. The 2015 has a new radar unit in it. The 2013 Tahoe would be covered by this. The 2017 Tahoe, and then Unit 8, whatever happens to Unit 8. It's whatever if you want me to get the note from Lamar National, because I think that's the better. If we're gonna finance it, I think that's the better way to finance it. Or if you want me to buy them outright, it's whatever you want to do. I hate financing $7,000.
I think say I'd rather see you use the money that you got out of those vehicles just to buy them.
Right.
And that way we don't have a note and payments and,
Have to budget that next payment for another 2-3 years.
right. And
Especially if we're looking at buying another vehicle.
Well, this is general fund. This is general.
I know, but I mean, still, as far as notes.
Right.
What, you've had plans to buy an ATV, that's what,
Right.
with the money. And the ATV,
About 13,000.
so this is about half of that.
Right. I wouldn't have enough money right now to buy it right anyway.
So we possibly can look at
I would rather finance an
the new
ATV,
budget.
something,
Yeah.
something more expensive like that than I would something $7,000 personally. Again, that's, don't want to charge the money, so. And there's some other ways to get something like that funded. Paris EMS Reserve, 2 years ago, their reserve unit did a GoFundMe page on the internet for a brand new ATV, and it's big enough that'll hold a stretcher on the back of it. And brand new, I think they raised $13,000-14,000, something like that, in a couple of months online, taking donations. They've done that. That's something. I mean, there's ways to do it. But right now, the radar units is much more of a priority than that.
When's that air show coming up?
May 13th.
Thing?
So we agree to pay for all of it together? Is that what we're gonna do?
The total price is $69. It's on that quote, $69.65.50.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move that we approve item 8C for the purchase of new police radar units for the amount of $6,995.50.
do we need to put the?
Or all,
From the auction?
without financing option,
From the auction.
paid outright.
We use the auction funds.
Option.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brandenburg, seconded by Councilmember Thomas to approve item 8C, purchase of new radar for the amount of $6,995.50. All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Item 8D, updating kiosk hardware and software.
Okay, we bought this kiosk back in 2010, so over 7 years, we haven't had any updates for software, hardware, or anything. And we were one of the first cities to take on this kiosk. And it's worked fairly well in the past. So they've told us about $3,500 would update our kiosk as far as the hardware, including a 19-inch touchscreen all-in-one PC, software upgrades, a new coin dispenser, and its installation and everything. And there's a little bit more to this that we have an option to get later on if we want to, which there's something new called Utility Express with USDI. I haven't learned all the details on it, but there's another option for people to go out and pay their bill. But if they come down and update our kiosk, he's supposed to train me on that too, so I can give you more information on that later. And that's included in that price as well. So I think it's overdue. If you guys would just look inside the kiosk, you can see all the wires and all of that. Everything just needs to be updated. It's pretty old. And when we do our deposits, we have to download a CSV file. And there's a couple of extra steps that we will avoid once we do get everything updated. It'll carry over a little easier.
Is that gonna come out of the office equipment software?
I think we can split it out of there in court because you can pay your tickets on there as well. That's another thing too, just to let you know, people can pay their tickets on the kiosk, but as it is right now through
Do
the.
they?
What?
Do they?
Not much, but here's why. Because whenever you go to enter your ticket, it asks for the last four numbers on your ticket. I didn't know until we started our warrant roundup at the beginning of March that it'll only go back to the current year that you're in. So if you put in the last four numbers of your ticket, if you got your ticket 3 years ago, it's not going to pull up your ticket on the kiosk. With this upgrade, it's going to solve all of this. So if they had a ticket from 1999, like we still have some out there, they can pay it on there. But if they, it's going to go back further than just 1 year or 4 or 5 months. So we've had people try.
Is it gonna be like a 50-50 or? Because it wouldn't, you wouldn't have enough of that. Or would you?
I think that's something I'd have to look at.
Because there's 2,000 in, yeah, there's 2,000 in court. And in the water department, there's like 9,000. So.
And we could do that either way, however you guys choose to do it. As of right now, it's just strictly water payments on the kiosk.
We have that software.
Yeah, it's 9,000.
And that's what we used last time.
We did. So we could do that if you're okay with it.
What, going?
Use the software line item for the 01.
Problem? And just total?
Because we haven't received any ticket payments on the kiosk. In a while.
Didn't they? Mayor, move to go ahead and approve Item D, updating the kiosk hardware and software in the amount of $3,500.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Willows to approve the updating the kiosk hardware and software for $3,500. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 8E, current contract for lawn care.
Put this in there because the contract's coming up, I believe, September, I guess, so. We've changed lawn care services since the last contract, but what happened was Powell was our landscaper for several years. And he went out of business. He turned all his business over to Tim Adams. And Adams kind of picked up all his business and that contract. But now we're to the point where the contract's up, so we're gonna have to go out for bids. We kind of just put it in here. See if you guys had anything that you wanted to add to the contract or changing the contract or anything like that. before we move it.
One thing I wanted to bring to your attention, we do currently have a lady that maintains the cemetery.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yes. We pay her $300 a month, and basically she mows it. She used to spray weed killer around the tombstones till we asked her to not do that since she's not licensed to do that. And so she mows it. She gets rid of the wilted flowers, and she takes dirt from burials that were just done, and she takes that dirt and she fills in other holes that have been created. So she does all of this for $300 a month. If we choose not to use any kind of weed killer around the tombstones, which I think the cemetery committee is not wanting to do that, then we would need someone to weed eat it. And she did make the comment to me that she's not going to be able to weed eat around all of those tombstones. She's been taking very good care of it. It's just, this is what you get to look at. So whatever you choose to do, if you want to add the cemeteries into this for them to maintain.
Now, she's wanting to quit.
No, she actually enjoys doing this. She said it keeps her busy.
So we just need to find someone to weed eat.
Which has to be done.
We probably need to ask to put in this, the specs, if council agrees and all. I know the cemetery committee would feel this way if they weed eat the cemetery. The reason we didn't want the spraying down around the markers is you spray, it's that wide around the markers, and it's kind of unsightly. So she does a good job, and she has been. If you just see what they would do as far as in this contract that we need for us. Now, it's no small job, no doubt.
That's about that.
That's a lot of weed eating.
Yeah.
I know they don't want it.
That's me to get finished. Perpetual.
I know.
That would be how many graves are there?
It's 13.
1,488.
14.
Yeah, you're right, 1488.
And then we probably got to talk about how the frequency.
You wouldn't think it, would you?
You have to do it every couple of weeks, I'm sure.
And
I mean, that's probably,
I wouldn't think every week, but probably,
this
you
time of
might
year,
could get
every
by
couple of
once a month in the hot summer. August, September.
weeks. Right.
But in spring, you have to do it every 2 weeks.
Well, page 3 of this contract, it shows you all of the city locations that we are currently having maintained. And some of them are weekly, some of them are bi-weekly. And if you chose to do that, then we can add that in there as monthly, or however you want to do it.
Now, is this good for 1 year? Or is this longer?
1 year?
3 years.
3 years?
3, okay.
Okay, then do we need to put anything in there for the other cemetery? Because it'll be done by that time. If it was, 1 year, then I wouldn't have to worry about it, but if it's a 3 year,
Right. So on page
Sit
3,
down and figure out what we want to do.
did you want to add those to page 3?
Well, if it's a 3-year contract, I will. If not, we'll have to add it to it later.
I'm just wondering,
But you have to probably word it.
yeah,
Where-
when it's reasonable to
Right.
weed eat it. Because they're looking at, we're expecting them to weed eat it now, beginning, they're probably gonna add that, I mean, the bill's gonna reflect, the bill's gonna reflect that in the condition that cemetery's in right now.
Yeah, they're not gonna mow or anything until we can get
It
in there.
very well
finish.
may be a
Clean it
year or
up.
2 down the road before, I mean, I don't know, it could actually need to be weed eated. I don't know.
It's a big project.
Let's put something in there, some kind of clause or something stating that this site's not ready yet, but it will be in the
Just upon
future.
completion, you know.
Yeah.
take it over.
It might be second bid or something, and see what we charge to get it up. Or
Yeah.
Once it again becomes available to do or whatever, or we want to start doing.
And I don't know, what, would we want them to bid it, or as far as the weed eating at both cemeteries, or, of course, Union Grove is where they're gonna look at the job, as far as the number of markers there, do we want them to do it both ways, monthly versus bi-weekly? What's your thoughts?
I would probably say once every 2 weeks during season. This time of year, probably a little bit more. In August, probably, you can probably go all month. But
The scope of the work's gonna be so broad that they're gonna have to cover their tails and
No, I know it.
they're gonna have to price it up high with that. You need to narrow the scope of the work before you say, hey, I'm gonna weed eat all those tombstones and this one over here. I mean, man, I could get into some serious dollars by the hour. I mean, that's 1,500 or 1,300 tombstones. That's a lot.
I know, it would take a day
Easily.
with probably 2 guys out there.
I was gonna say, you can't do it by yourself in a day.
You see the ones you use, bring that around.
What do most cemeteries use?
They contract them out.
I mean, do they weed eat or they do?
Oh, no, right. Well, it just depends. If you're evergreen, they spray Roundup.
It's been sprayed down there so many times.
I think it dies around the marker, you know. But what we're wanting it is a cemetery committee, the idea is if you go out to, just to tell you, if you go out Mount Tabor Cemetery out toward the cabins on 1499 out there, that's a country cemetery, rural cemetery, and they weed eat, they do not spray Roundup, and it looks so nice. It really does. And so when you see, you know, a 2-inch spray around the just yellow grass around markers, it just is, it's kind of unsightly. And as a cemetery committee, we want it to become, because it is a show place right there on the highway for the city, if we get it to that point. And ideally, part of that is getting water to it too, to water it eventually, you know.
I'll tell you what would go a long ways is spray weed killer, where it's just Bermuda grass there, and just get rid of all the weeds, and the Bermuda grass isn't gonna be, you know, it ain't gonna just take,
Yeah.
just start growing up here and there. It's gonna really look nice. That would be way ahead and as far as money goes. That stuff's not very expensive.
But you still gonna have to.
2,4-D or some
That's true.
MSMA.
MSMA.
Absolutely. But you're still gonna have to weed eat it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But you're.
But it make the grass get
The
real
grass.
uniform.
Instead of weeds in there.
Right.
You're right.
Stop spraying it now. I don't know how long it'd take for anything there to start growing back on some of that stuff. I really don't.
After all the years of,
Well, if you, yeah. If you just had grass, like Bart was saying, then you wouldn't really have an issue for quite a while, because that grass had to creep in and grow. Now weeds, they'll pop up, you know.
Yeah, they do, the little stick weeds,
Yeah.
that's what's usually out there.
It's a lot easier to maintain grass than weeds.
and when does the contract run out?
Well, it actually is out.
Oh, it is, okay.
But Tim Adams, he has been actually maintaining everything as scheduled. And he hasn't had a problem doing it so far. I haven't had a chance to talk to Tim Adams myself to make sure he's gonna be able to continue to keep doing this until October, but he hasn't given us any reason to believe he wouldn't. I mean, he was just here the other day.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah. He's actually even, it's not in the contract either, but on attachment A, page 3, back here where it talks about herbicides and vegetation management, that's something else, if you guys wanted to look at that. I put the cemeteries on there just if you wanted to spray for anything there. And then the Reno Kiwanis Park, he's been spraying along the walking track.
I have him
to
spray
create
the walking
weeds.
track 3 times a year. He charges me like $100.
Oh, yeah, that's
3
worth
times a
it.
year, I want to spray.
That's well worth it.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's not in the contract, but you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's anything else that you guys wanted to add to or take from that, I was just gonna mention that to you too. In the current contract that we did have with Powell, he didn't have anything listed under the herbicides section. I mean, he didn't spray for
He didn't spray.
He didn't spray for
No,
anything.
he would have to get somebody else to do it.
So this is up when, this contract, current contract?
Well, we would normally go out for bids beginning October 1st is when your bids would start, so you would accept them in September.
So if we go out for bids now, and we put this in here, or when we get ready to, we can see what it is as far as, and we may want to change depending upon what the cost is here, as far as the weed eating, the frequency, or we may have to look at it again, to get the numbers.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky to figure out how we want to go about this. That's why we kind of brought it down, look at it.
If you're looking at some sort of substantial increase in this, though, you need to have an idea about it before you plan your budget.
Yeah, that's just what I'm saying. We can go ahead and get a bid with this in it, because then we can always go back and say, well, we want to change this, we want you to bid it again. It's gotta be weed eated or spray one.
Or go ahead and let him do it and until, put it out for bid like in June sometime. Then we'll get them back like, and then award it like in September or July or so. I mean, get the bids in like in July, award it like in September. Because that way we'd know what to budget
Well,
for the upcoming year.
we've got a few months that we're probably not gonna have an issue about weed eating.
Right.
That is still dead
Right.
around those markers.
I mean, I can get him to give me a price to do that, whatever y'all want to do now. And then kind of get it.
Yeah, I'll rather than just say, go by there and look at it.
I'd get Randy Stevens or the Bashir's guy or something. I'd get them to go out there and give me a price on spraying that.
That's what we just talked
Oh,
about.
yeah.
That would be
That'll
good
go a
to-
long, long ways, I promise you.
If I could get a price on that. Get a price on both of them. Get them a price on weed eating. Maybe Randy or somebody else to say, look, sausage spray, grass.
Right.
You're gonna have to.
It would make that thing look really pretty. Grass growing.
That's all I had on that.
Item 8F, update on Public Works Building.
I met with HWH a couple times in the past couple of weeks. We got the survey, all the surveying done. We actually got a preliminary set of site plan, or plans with site plan, building layout on it. And it's in there in the break room if anybody wants to take a look at it. This is kind of what they call, said was 30%, 30% point or whatever. But you can kind of look at that and get a good idea of what we're gonna do. Had a meeting at the end of this week, first part of next week. I'll have a better set of drawings, and they'll give those to us. And I'll also have those in there in the break room, so you can come up and look at them. And after that point, we'll kind of nail everything down, get you guys to look at it, and go ahead and get the actual set of plans. We've been going over electrical, what we needed in the shop for things for the last week or so. So just kind of laying all that out. The MEP report is the connections, water connections, electric connections, all that stuff. So we've just kind of been going over all that so they can get all the permits and stuff in the state. We're real close to having that already wrapped up. Trish, I think, has gotten some proposed bids for financing on it also.
Everything's still the same with U.S. Bank and then the U.S. Government Capital. But the front page that you have there is from Lamar National Bank. At the last council meeting, you guys wanted to know what would we be looking at if we were to get a loan through the bank. Well, if we did $440,000 at 7 years, then our payment would be $72,404. If we did 10 years, $53,617. And if we paid $200,000 down, we'd have $240,000 loan. 7 years would be $39,495, and 10 years would be $29,247. That is at a 4% rate. The first payment being due November 1st.
Tricia, did you have any information, was it government capital that talked about the illegal debt?
Yes.
What?
Did you look into what the one loan company was suggesting that we need to look into?
No, I did not. The illegal debt thing,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they mean.
I don't know what they mean by that.
That sounds promising, doesn't
I
it?
know.
I can guess what they're talking about. It's like having to have that engineering certification on your drawings and your plans. It may be that there's a restriction on private borrowing, that you have to get a certificate of obligation or something like that, and you can't just go down and borrow money at a bank.
That's what I'm wondering.
But I will know that by this time tomorrow.
That being the case.
Well,
I mean,
the law is a strange
I
and
know,
mysterious creature.
I'm not going to say that can't be, but oh, I know.
Well, when they put the term illegal in front of the debt, that kind of,
Yeah.
you kind of wonder, oh, really? How's that work?
Gives you cause for pause.
Yeah.
Jerry, is
Well-
there? Go ahead.
No, that's it. I was just gonna say, that's pretty much everything we've got right now.
So-
We've still got some time as far as the.
As far as finding out about this, is not,
We can check up on what you're asking about and go from there.
we just, no action on this or table it.
Who brought up the illegal debt?
Finance,
Dan Carson with
bonding companies.
Government Capital.
We're going with our bank. It is the cheap route, but it's not huge substantial savings. So,
But you do have some savings and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
doing business locally.
that's what I'm saying, that's why I'd rather go with them.
Yeah.
But
If, if there's no issue.
Right, if there's,
If we can do it legally.
Only way, yeah. He'd be right up there. Hey,
which
there he
one
is.
which one of these guys brought it up?
Deanne Carson, Government Capital.
Government capital. And they're the cheaper of the two, aren't they?
Yes.
This was just an update anyway, so.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna bring that, we knew that was a question, so that's okay. So we can get that answered. It is to where we're at, so.
Illegal debt.
Let's move on to the
It kind of sticks with you, doesn't it? Once you hear it, you just kind of keep saying it over and over
It
again.
kind of scare you a little bit.
Makes me think of a cookie or something.
Right?
We're building a building. Illegal debt. Wah, wah, wah. Debbie Downer. Yep. It's adjourned.
Thank you.
6:55 PM.